On March the 26th, 1936, a new treaty was signed to replace the expiring Washington and First London naval treaties. It would go into effect January 1st, 1937. All five nations that signed the first two treaties, the U.S., the British Empire, Japan, France, and Italy, were invited. As before, there was no naive hope that future wars could be prevented. This treaty again simply tried to restrain the cost of an arms race. It started badly, and in a sign of things to come, neither Japan nor Italy showed up. Article 1, Section B, defined types of ships. Paragraph 1 defines a capital ship as any surface ship except a carrier that carries a gun over 8 inches. Paragraph 2 defines a carrier as any ship whose main purpose is to operate aircraft at sea. Paragraph 3 defines a light surface ship as any non-carrier that weighs between 100 tons and 10,000 tons. It then goes on to divide them further into ships with larger than 6.1-inch guns, heavy cruisers, ships with 6.1-inch guns or smaller that weigh more than 3,000 tons, light cruisers, and finally ships that carry a 6.1-inch gun or smaller and weigh less than 3,000 tons, destroyers. Paragraph 4 defines a submarine as a ship that operates below the surface. Paragraph 5 defines a minor warship as a warship between 100 and 2,000 tons that doesn't mount a gun larger than 6.1 inches, doesn't launch torpedoes, and can't do better than 20 knots. Paragraph 6 defines an auxiliary as a non-combat ship larger than 100 tons which doesn't have a gun larger than 6.1 inches, doesn't carry more than 8 guns larger than 3 inches, can't launch torpedoes, doesn't have armor, can't do better than 20 knots, doesn't have the main role of operating aircraft, and can't have more than 2 catapults. Paragraph 7 defines small craft as any ship smaller than 100 tons. Article 3 says no ship with guns exceeding the limits of this treaty can be rebuilt with even larger guns. In Article 4, the treaty says no capital ship can exceed 35,000 tons. In 1938, the limit would be raised to 45,000 tons due to uncertainty as to what Japan was building. It went on to say that no capital ship can carry a gun larger than 14 inches unless Japan and Italy don't join this treaty by the 1st of April 1937, in which case the maximum gun size goes up to 16 inches. Finally, this article basically says that no ship with guns 8 inches through 10 inches that weigh less than 17,500 tons shall be started or acquired before January 1st, 1943. Article 5 limits aircraft carriers to 23,000 tons and guns less than 6.1 inches. It also says that if a carrier has guns larger than 5.25 inch, it can't have more than 10 of them. Article 6 says that no light cruiser larger than 8,000 tons and no heavy cruiser at all can be laid down before January 1st, 1943. It then says that this is unless the country that's building them thinks it's not in their interest to stick to this limit, in which case all it has to do is tell the other countries. Article 7 says no submarine can be larger than 2,000 tons or have a gun bigger than 5.1 inches. No mention of limiting torpedoes at all. Article 8 restates that when we're talking about displacement, we're talking about standard displacement. Article 9 carries forward the Washington Treaty's rule that during peacetime, no merchant ship can carry guns or be prepared to carry a gun larger than 6.1 inches. Article 10 through 21 deal with the signers telling each other what they're building and when. Article 22 carries over the Washington Treaty's ban on giving away or selling any ship so that it can be used as a warship. Article 23 carries over the Washington Treaty's right to replace any accidentally lost ship. It also maintains that if an existing heavy or light cruiser over 8,000 tons is accidentally lost, it can be replaced by the same type of cruiser up to 10,000 tons. Remember, new light cruisers are limited to 8,000 tons, and heavy cruisers are banned under Article 6, unless that country really wants to build them. Article 24 through 26 basically says that if any of the signatures don't feel like following this treaty, they don't have to. Article 27 gives the expiration of this treaty as December 31st, 1942. Article 28 says that in the fourth quarter of 1940, the British would hold a conference to negotiate a treaty to replace this one. Needless to say, they'd have other things on their mind by then, and all thoughts of arms limitation would be long forgotten.